Hello children, good morning to all. Let's start our next topic, lesson 3 actually of physics, that is gravitation. First of all children, I want to perform an activity, that is tie a stone, take a small stone, tie it with a thread, with the help of a thread, and try to rotate it. Okay. Then after 5 or 10 seconds, after rotating 5 or 10 seconds, you simply leave the thread. You will notice the stone will go in a straight line in which you had, the direction in which you had left the stone, the thread I mean to say. So that stone has gone in the straight line direction, in the straight line of the direction in which you had left the thread or stone. So why this is happening? Same way, why the moon revolves around the earth, why the earth is revolving around the sun. What is the reason behind all these phenomena? The reason behind all these phenomena is, if in case of stone, the activity which I have told you just now, in case of that activity, if you do not tie the stone or you do not rotate, you have to apply in a circular motion, or you can while rotating you will notice that you have to apply a force on the stone to keep it rotating in a circular motion. If you stop applying the force, if you stop applying the force, the stone will go off in a straight line motion in the direction in which you had left the thread. Suppose children, see, you are standing here in the center. Suppose this is you rotating a stone. This is a stone you are rotating. It is going in this direction like this. So you will notice, in order to keep the stone rotating like this, you have to apply certain force. When you stop applying this force, suppose the stone is here now, after rotating, stone has come at this point. If you have stopped, you will notice that this stone will go in the straight line motion in the direction where you had stopped putting the force on the stone. Suppose the stone was here, in this case, the stone will go like this. Suppose it was here, it will go like this. If it was here, it would go like this. If you leave the stone at this position, it will go like this. If you leave the stone like this, like here. If you leave it here, it will go like this. You will notice that a force needs to be applied on the stone to keep its motion a circular one. If you stop applying the force on the stone, or you can say the thread, then the stone or the will go in a straight line motion in the direction in which you had stopped applying the force. Now from where that force is coming? That force is coming from the center, as you are standing in the center and rotating in a circular motion. So this force is known as center seeking force, or which we call as centripetal force. I hope it is clear. This force which is applied from the center is known as center seeking force, or another name of this is centripetal force. Centripetal force. This is centripetal force. If you, same way, the rotation of the moon around the earth, or the rotation of the earth around the sun, is also because, suppose this is sun and the earth is taking a round elliptical path, because earth is here or here or here, it moves like this, the motion goes like this. Okay. Now, why the earth is moving like this, why it is not going anywhere else? Because It is not going anywhere else because of the sun. Because of the sun. Sun is continuously applying a force on the earth to keep it in this elliptical path. In the absence of this force, the earth would have gone like this in a straight line motion. It depends on the point where the central force has stopped being applying. While the rotation, if the earth would have been here and the sun has stopped applying the force on the earth when earth was at this position, then the earth would have gone in the straight line motion in the direction it was when the force was stopped. Suppose the sun has not stopped applying the force, earth has reached at this point. Now the sun thought, I will not apply the force on the earth. Now in this case the earth will go like this. This is how this force acts on the object. Similarly, the force is being applied from the center, and the force which is keeping the earth bound to sun or revolve around the sun, that force is known as gravitational force. I hope it is clear, children. The force with which every object in this universe attracts every other object, that force is known as our gravitational force. In this chapter, half of this chapter is been cut. There are 3 or 4 topics which we need to do it from this chapter. So first is our gravitational force, the force with which every object in this universe, every object which is present in this universe attracts every other object. You are sitting next to your, you can say mother or brother at home or in the school when you sit next to your friend. You both apply a force of attraction or gravitational force on each other. Now, next thing comes is our universal law of gravitation. Now, universal, because this law is applicable on all the objects in this universe, that is why this is known as universal law of gravitation. In the exam, you get state universal law of gravitation. Now, universal law of gravitation states that every object in this universe attracts every other object with a force. That force is known as gravitational force. But that force is, now it is a derivation of gravitational constant or gravitational force. How we calculate the force of gravitation. So now we are doing that part, how to calculate or how to obtain the force of gravitation between 2 objects. So that force is directly proportional to the product of the masses of 2 objects. Suppose I have taken 2 objects here as A. This is suppose object A and this is object B. Mass of this object is M1, mass of this object is M2. So the force will be force is directly proportional to the product of their masses. F is directly proportional to M1 into M2, and it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Now, from where to calculate? You cannot calculate the distance from here to here. You have to see the center of both the objects and the distance. This is the distance between the center of 2 objects. Let us consider it as D. And it is, force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between 2 objects. Now, first equation I got, force is directly proportional to the product of the masses of the 2 objects which are attracting each other. And force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between 2 objects. When I combine equation 1 and 2, I get force is proportional to M1 into M2 upon D square. Now, since there is sign of proportionality, I cannot calculate. I cannot get a numerical value here. So to get the numerical value, I have to change it into a fixed value that is known as this is universal law of gravitation. So this fixed constant is known as G. G is universal gravitation constant. Universal gravitational constant. or I can write F is equals to G. G is the constant what we have taken. Rest is same, m1 into m2 upon d square. Now, how the scientists were able to calculate this value of constant? As this G is, its name is gravitational constant. So, the value of this G will remain constant in this universe. So, F into d square, if I convert, I'll take d square that side, m1 and m2 I'll bring here. So, f1 into d square upon m1 into m2 is equals to G. So, that G, after calculating, scientists came to a conclusion that always the value of this gravitational, as it is a constant, its value will remain constant, and that value is equal to 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Newton meter square per kg square. Why Newton meter square? Force unit is Newton. Distance meter में तो distance square then meter square, and mass is kg, so per kg square. So this is the value of G, capital G. You have to keep this thing in mind, that you have to write gravitational constant as capital G. Small g you cannot write, because small g further in this lesson we are going to get something else. Okay. So, this value, whenever you need to find out the force between the two objects, you will write F is equal to G. G ka value is already fixed. Those two objects you can get the mass, and you can also get the distance between them. If you have these values, this is already constant, a fixed value, you can calculate the force of gravitation between you and your partner or the other object on which you are applying a gravitational force or the force of attraction. So children, this is how we derive, this is the statement of universal law of gravitation, how to calculate the gravitational constant, and on how to calculate the force. So I hope it is clear. Now there are the applications of universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation. Where this law is applicable? This law is applicable because of this law. Number one, the moon revolves around the earth. Because of this force, planets revolves around the sun. Number three, gravitational. You must have studied in your SST that this gravitational force of the sun and the moon causes tides in the sea. This is also tides. You know, in the sea there are high tides and low tides. Why we are able to get the tides in the sea? The tides in the sea, the reason behind this is the gravitational force of the sun and the moon on the earth, on the sea water. Now, one more application of this force is that why are we able to be on the earth? This force of gravitation keeps us bind to the earth. If there wouldn't be any force of gravitation applied by the earth, we would not be able to stand or live on the earth. This is a force. These are the applications of universal law of gravitation. Children, this is quite important topic, really an important topic. The question here, what is gravitational force? Okay, I'll send the worksheet, but still I'll let you know. State universal law of gravitation and how to find out the force between two objects. What is universal gravitation constant? Applications of universal law of gravitation. Till now we have covered this. I hope it is clear. The gravitational force is a force with which an object attracts every other object in this universe. There will be a force of attraction. If there are two objects lying, then there definitely will be a force of attraction between those two objects. And the application is the moon revolves around the earth because of universal law of gravity, because of the gravitational force. Second, planets revolve around the sun because of the gravitational force of the sun. The tides caused in the sea is again due to the gravitational force of the sun and the moon. We are bound to the earth. We are able to live on the earth or walk on the earth or stand on the earth. The reason behind this is the gravitational force applied by the earth on us. I hope it is clear, children. Thank you for today's session. Next we'll start next topic. Okay.